Welcome to 10 Questions, the show where we ask our guests 10 random questions to get the unexpected responses. So this is the recap episode. We have had 9 episodes so far, and this is our 10th episode. We have had 9 amazing guests from Lagos to Atlanta to Dallas, and we're still going global. Trust me when I say we're going global. Let's go! Oh, that's a good one. Unexpected answer. Okay, so I would say that our episode with Moet Abebe, I think I asked her a question like, what's the craziest thing you've done in a relationship or for love or something like that? And she mentioned how she flew to London from Nigeria, which is a 7 hours flight to go basically surprise a guy she was talking to. And when she got there, so the guy didn't know she was coming. It's a surprise. So she got there, I guess she knocked on the door, and basically there was a girl there. So that was unexpected for me because I didn't expect her to answer that question. I didn't expect her to actually be that detailed and honest about it. So for me, that was a shocker because I was like, you said what? You said what? There was a girl where? So basically, yeah, that was actually very surprising for me. That was a good one. Funny moments. Oh, okay. So I think every episode had its own funny moments. Like you can see, I'm always laughing in every episode. I mean, normally I'm like a laughing bug. I laugh a lot. But in this episode, it's been so funny because each guest brings different characters. The funny moment for me was the episode with Toby Fudge. So this was shot in Lagos. So we're in Lagos in traffic. There was a fight going on outside. While we're shooting, we're in traffic, there's a fight outside. So I was like, this would be so great to catch on camera, show you guys the true Lagos living, an actual fight. So I asked the videographer and then Toby to go outside and capture the fights. And then Toby was like, Kemi, why don't you go and capture it yourself? So I think that was really funny because you guys didn't really see the full image because truly there was a fight going on outside. But yeah, I just wanted them to go capture it, but that didn't happen. But I thought that was really funny. Ooh, toxic. So I always like a little bit of toxic. Well, not for me, but for you guys, because in this world, anything controversial sells. I've been told several times to make my questions more toxic. I wouldn't call it toxic, but the episode with Deji Morafa, where I asked him a question about being on BBN, and I was like, would you ever go back to BBN? And he said no. Sorry. I wasn't expecting him to actually be honest. A lot of people don't want to say things that's controversial and get themselves in trouble. But Deji was straight up, almost like it was a regret for him being on that show. Because he mentioned it doesn't feel like the show kind of sets people up for a great path in life. So for him to say no, he wouldn't go back on the show for me. I won't say it's toxic, like I said, but I would say that I was very interested because I didn't expect him to actually be no, I'm never going back on BBN. So yeah, that would be one moment that I was like, whoa. Wow. Most viral. I mean, viral is subjective, right? We've had 9 episodes and I believe we're doing very well. So for us, viral might not be what you consider viral. But I would say that the very first episode with Unfiltered, I asked him a question because he's an artist, so he has a lot of songs. If you were to sing a song to your ex or something, his response was it doesn't have an ex. And I'm sure he just said it without thinking too hard about it. But people were literally in the comment section was wait, it doesn't have an ex? What does it mean by it doesn't have an ex? So I think that one I wouldn't say viral, but that was one episode where the comments were very much wait, what? I actually even had to name that episode, It Doesn't Have an Ex, just because people kept asking about that. So I would say that was a moment where I was whoa. Whoa. Emotional. This is not an emotional show. Nobody has been emotional. I would say maybe vulnerable might be a better word. For me, when I think about emotional, I'm thinking about you're very deep in your feelings. And we haven't had that yet. But I would say that one episode would be Sunki's episode. The reason why I would say that vulnerable is because he started to talk about his book, because he wrote a book The Other Side of Midnight. And for that book, he basically talked a little bit about it. And I could just sense the passion in his voice. For me, vulnerability and passion kind of goes hand in hand. So when he talked about the book, I can hear his passion in his voice. And also just talking about like being in the midnight space, being a lifestyle creator and things like that. What happens after dark? I think he kind of wanted to put out the message that people actually have serious businesses after dark. People actually make a lot of money after dark. So just because somebody's outside late doesn't mean that they're not serious. It just means that that's the nature of their job. So I think that for me was a moment that I would say was vulnerable. So the entire show is freestyle. Like, I have never actually given any of my guests questions before sitting in this car with me. They are asked the questions right there on the spot. Nobody gets the questions ahead of time. I've been asked for them to get the questions prior to, but I always say no. So I would say everything is freestyle, but I would say that when I think about this question, I'm thinking about it mainly like who was more composed, like who came ready to just go, prepared. This one is the easy one. I don't have to think too hard about it. I would say Sunki, yes. Actually, two people. Sunki is number one because, and even if you read the comment section, everybody was just like, Sunki is so composed. This man, truly, his name starts with the S because it didn't stutter, it didn't stammer. It was pretty much just smooth with it. You saw what I did there? 3 S's. Anyways, just joking. Yeah, but it didn't stutter, stammer, and it was just smooth with it. Like, every answer was just bam, bam, bam. Like, even I was like, dang, like, this guy's really good. So you can tell he's really good at what he does. He's been in that space for a long time. So I would say prepared. Another guest I would say was Nif Keys. Nif Keys is the last episode. The reason why I say he came prepared is because Nif Keys did not hold back on any question. Literally, like, okay, there was one question he didn't answer, which is fair because I was asking him to cancel one song from the world. Obviously, he's not going to answer that. But I was just surprised because he came with so much joy, just smiling, so much happiness. The way he was excited made me excited. So that's why that show was so smooth. I would say, don't get me wrong, all episodes, everyone came prepared. Nobody knew what was going on, but they came on their A game. But just off the top of my head, I would say that Sunki's episode was the most prepared for him. Ooh, which episode made me change the way I think? The episode that actually did this for me is the episode with Sugar Beast. You know, with Sugar Beast's episode, I think that we were over 30 minutes. We had to kind of like crop it down a little bit because there was a part in the show where myself and him, like, we just got into conversations, just talking, because it started opening my eyes more to how like the algorithm works behind the scenes. It basically taught me a lot about how content get across to you guys, the audience, and how like Instagram, YouTube, how they basically chooses who sees what. And that to me was very interesting because I learned so much. I mean, like, a lot. But basically, Mr. Beast episode made me actually open my eyes to more of like how content reach across, you know, the world or to within the States. So that actually opened my eyes because it was like a free class for content creation. Thank you, Sugar Beast, because you taught me a lot about content I didn't even know. There was one I had to remove. Oh my God, I just thought about it. Episode with JG. The actual question was, who would you say is the least rated housemate on BBN? And he was like, no, I'm not answering that question. Which I understand because that's kind of toxic a little bit. Then I changed the question to, who is the most rated housemate? The actual question was, who is the least rated housemate? So yeah. It'd be. Oh my God, this is setting me up. MVP, wow. I would say that the proper thing to say is that each guest is an MVP because they are. Honestly, like, for all the guests that I've had on this show, I'm so grateful that you guys graced us with your presence. But I would say that MVP, that's basically like asking who's my favorite guest, almost sort of. I wouldn't say favorite. I would say maybe one episode that went smoothly for me. I mean, like, everything behind the scenes was okay. There wasn't technical difficulties. We didn't have to change locations. We didn't have to do this and do that. I would say that the MVP of this episode from episode 1 to 9 would be, oh my God, I would say Ayofe. And I'm saying Unfiltered because it's my very first episode. Yeah, that's a good way out. My very first episode. And this is someone that gave me a platform without asking for prior work, because there was no prior work. It was the first episode. So I would say MVP goes to Unfiltered for being the very first guest on the 10 questions show. But everybody is a VIP. Sorry, MVP. You tried to set me up with that one, but I think I got it. Thank you. Ooh, wow. One word? Only one? Dang, I have several. But one word would be, without being too spiritual, because I was going to make this about, how God did it. That's 3 words. God did it. That's 3 words. So one would be like grateful. Obviously, like most people that start a show like this, they either already have a platform, they already been in the media space. Maybe they were previously hosting a show already, or they already kind of have like an audience or something like that. For me, this is my very first show. I didn't have an audience before this. I didn't have subscribers before this. So I think that the word grateful is the perfect word, because I'm literally so grateful for my guests, for the viewers, for the subscribers, for those that share the videos, for those that comment on the video, those that even see me in person and say great job. I'm so grateful. The perfect word is grateful. All right, this is 10 questions with Kemi Posh. My name is Kemi Posh. I'm your host. So we've had episodes from 1 to 9. We've had 9 episodes so far. This is our 10th episode. I think that means that we're doing a great job. So I just want to tell you guys and make a promise to you guys that the rest of the episodes that you're going to watch, they're going to be amazing. Expect to see your favorite celebrity, your favorite influencer, artist, producer, director, just anyone in the entertainment space that you absolutely love to see. Expect to see them on the show. So yeah, thank you for watching. This is the official recap from episode 1 to episode 10. Continue to watch the show. Continue to stay tuned. I love you guys. Thanks for supporting me. See you guys on the next episode. Thank you. Bye.